So I just saw Sam Raimi's new film, Send Help, and I wanted to review it, talk about it. Sam Raimi, the legendary director behind The Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, original Spider-Man trilogy. I love his expressive style. I love the fact that he got his start in horror and that he injects that into his work. This is Sam Raimi's first original film, as in it's an original script with an original idea, since 2009 with Drag Me to Hell. It's also the first horror movie since then, and I think it might be the first R-rated Sam Raimi movie since even earlier, I'm not sure. So quite an occasion, like it is quite important within certain crowds. So Send Help then is a movie about an underappreciated office worker who gets stranded on an island with her inconsiderate, lousy, shitty boss. And then the tables turn. She becomes more assertive while she's on this island. He becomes more of a submissive, docile partner. He's completely out of his depth. She's thriving in this environment. The whole situation reverses. She's no longer the underdog. She's very much in charge, and she kind of finds a whole new lease of life. And, you know, horror movie shenanigans ensue from there. It's not a particularly complicated story. The movie does throw in a few twists and turns for you, near the end especially. I'll try and keep things under wraps. I won't spoil some of the more major plot developments later on, but I was quite pleased to see that the plot did take a couple turns. It wasn't just a flat line. It wasn't exactly necessarily what you'd expect throughout the whole thing. I think really what's core about this movie, the central element and the reason why I enjoy it, is for those two central performances by Rachel McAdams as the main character, Linda Little, who is just chewing the scenery. She's having a great time. And Dylan O'Brien as Bradley, who I thought played a wonderful asshole.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You know what? You're so done.
Huh?
Yeah, you're so fired.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Where are you going?
Wherever the fuck I want to go. Make my own camp.
Oh.
It's not so hard. Just eat some leaves and some fucking sticks.
He's really hateable. Like, he does a great job at really making you hate him. There's some good moments, though, throughout the movie where, you know, you kind of feel a little more sympathy for Bradley, maybe, and then you kind of switch back to Linda. The movie does a good job at portraying, although it's so kind of over the top and cheesy and goofy, as you would expect from a Sam Raimi picture, it does a good job at kind of subtly portraying how much of an asshole Bradley is. He's not, his whole thing is that he will basically just lie. He talks his way out of situations, you know, he'll try and smooth talk people into getting what he wants, kind of browbeating them into submission. And that on a surface level may not seem like the most evil thing that he could possibly be doing, but it just felt very realistic in the way that his kind of toxic behavior was being presented. There's a few interesting themes running through the movie about like relationship dynamics and abusive relationships and cyclical abusive relationships, and some things that I thought, you know, the movie may have been or could have been more surface level than it actually ends up being. There are some moments that add a bit of depth and a few more layers to proceedings. The main thing that I liked about the movie really was those two main characters and the two main performances, and seeing them trying to get along and then breaking apart, and then seeing their different perspectives and different personalities come out. And there's a lot of really good scenes just with them sitting down and talking. And it's funny because when I went into it, what I wanted and what I expected was more of a kind of balls to the wall, horror set piece after horror set piece. Obviously I wasn't expecting Evil Dead 2. No one, not even Sam Raimi, can replicate Evil Dead 2. But I was expecting maybe something a little bit more heavy on the horror, but actually the movie felt pretty lacking in a lot of that stuff. My major complaint about the horror movie elements was that a lot of it just looked kind of fake. There's a lot of CGI in the movie, and when things start to get quite physically violent between the two characters a bit later on, which is not really a spoiler, I mean, you kind of know that's going to happen, right? At some point, something's got to give. It kind of looked a bit too CGI. Felt like they didn't spend as much time as they could have done adding some more practical gore elements that it would have really helped the movie along, I think. But there's a lot of moments. I don't mind this movie feeling cheap. I don't mind it looking a bit green screeny at points, which it does, but I would have at least liked it if the gore and the violence felt a bit more tactile, a bit more physical, had more of a presence. There's some good squeamish moments near the end that feels somewhat satisfying. I think maybe it doesn't go far enough for me personally. Maybe I'm just so dulled to a lot of this stuff nowadays. Maybe this will play better to a wider audience. I don't know. It was interesting that actually the thing that I found the least interesting about the movie was a lot of the horror elements, a lot of the kind of typical Sam Raimi stuff. Either it needed to lean more into the horror and more into the gore and the violence and the gross out stuff, or it needed to take a step back and maybe develop the characters a bit more. I found the script to be fairly decent. Like, it was nothing special, it's nothing amazing. You're not gonna be leaving it with your mind going, oh wow, what did this mean, what did that mean, and buzzing with ideas. You know, it's pretty simple, straightforward, as I say. A couple twists and turns which were appreciated. Overall, I like the message of the movie. It's like, don't listen to men, honey. They'll tell you anything. I think maybe it was overly long. Could have been shortened down just a tad, maybe due to the budget or whatever. They were just kind of struggling to have things for the characters to do at certain points, and you are sitting there thinking this is a horror movie, and it's been quite a long time since we've really had any sort of like scary like horror movie elements, and you're kind of just waiting for Sam Raimi to kick in and do his stuff. Eventually it does get more into that. I don't think it goes as far as I would have liked it to have gone. I don't think it goes as far as a lot of people will be expecting it to go or would like it to go. I think ultimately you just have to accept that Sam Raimi is an aging director. He is maybe not in that headspace or in that position to be doing something as zany and as creative and as fun as something like Evil Dead, but you gotta give him a break at a certain point. He's made his mark on cinema history. The fact that he's still making movies today and the fact that he's back, I really would like to see him do more original movies. I didn't love this movie, I did like it. I think if you are going into it, you need to know what to expect. It is low budget, it is stupid, it is cheesy, there's some good performances, and there are some very silly moments in it. It's not particularly scary. It is a bit kind of gross out and gory at points, and that is fun. I am a big shill for Sam Raimi, so I'm gonna like it. I think I'd give this one like a 2.5 stars with a like. You know, it's one of those. It's one of those movies.